the United Nations. So the United Nations planning to criminalize spreading misinformation that causes social disorder and hatred. So this is the report that comes to us from Natalie Winters over at the War Room. She's doing some great work. Here's the headline: United Nations planning to criminalize spreading misinformation that causes social disorder and hatred. And so she writes, the United Nations has launched a new initiative to counter the use of information and communications technologies for criminal purposes, which appears to apply to individuals who share misinformation. So private companies, including social media platforms like Facebook's parent company Meta, are also involved in this venture. Draft versions of this new convention reveal the United Nations may criminalize posts that promote, quote, hatred. What does that mean, by the way? Including ideological and political hatred, in addition to another vague term that's in this document, extremism.
There you have it. Okay. It has begun. They're going to persecute the church, in which is the children of Israel, the prophets of the Lord, all right, the men of the Lord, that are on the highways and hedges preaching this truth, okay, and coming against the narrative of Esau, Edom, and his new world order. Okay, say it again. They're coming against the men of the Lord that are preaching on the highways and the hedges, and eventually they're going to force you to worship the image and take the M-A-R-K. All right, that's what this is all about. It's a big push. So we're at the end. Real soon, they're going to collapse the economy and bring this forth. Okay, the draconian laws that are coming forth. Amos 8 and 11. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord power, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the word of Yahweh. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of Yahweh, and shall not find it. Okay, so real soon, this truth is going to be cut off from the earth, and therefore you will not be able to get the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Okay, that's the rivers of truth. Okay, the living waters of truth. All right, and we go to John 7 and 38. He that believeth on me, as the scripture has said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. Okay, so the living water is the truth, the words of the Holy Bible. And they're going to cut this off real soon.
Those, I mean, what is extremism?
Well, it's all subjective. They're all subjective words.
And that's
what's extreme to you is not extreme to me.
And of course, then they get away with this because if they have this draft resolution, it can ruin someone's life. Forget whether or not this ends up like going to a Supreme Court in but it doesn't matter, because once they've labeled you this way, you lose your livelihood. Like we've seen in the United States, without having any criminal record or criminal charges brought against somebody, their lives have been ruined because, they've been called extremist. They've been called, politically extreme. So they've had their PayPal account shut down, Venmo account shut down. They've been debanked. For what? For their political views? That's exactly what's happening.
Kanye West. What's the other guy? The guy from, this is the reason why they brought forth the Kanye West situation. Okay. So that they could create a narrative to come after everybody. He was the example, he was the example to show the world what is possible for anyone who comes against the new world order of things. Okay. In which they plan on restructuring this whole society and the whole world for that matter. But America is going to get the brunt of it because of the mere fact that we've been living lavishly for so long, and the people here are pretty much spoiled. So it's going to hurt America the worst. All right. So they're coming after the men of the Lord, and that's what this is all about. Okay. They're coming after the men of the Lord to shut them up, to shut us up from preaching the gospel. Okay. And they can do that very easily by debanking you, causing the companies to shut you down. And when they go totally automated, we're going to be shut out of society anyway. All right. This is the test coming from the Lord. Okay. The great temptation, because you're not going to be able to enter the bank. You're not going to be able to enter these automated stores in order to purchase anything without the devices that the technology, okay, the implant or the barcode, all right, which is going to come with digital ID. All right.
What's happening, right? I mean, we spoke to Brandon Straka, who was at January 6th. He was there to give a speech. He never went anywhere inside the Capitol. He was outside filming what was going on and had his life turned upside down. He was labeled extreme, right? He was labeled
with a cell phone.
With a cell phone, just filming. He was there to give a speech that day. And then what? He ends up not being able to have like PayPal, Venmo, all of these banking, all of these companies shut him down. So you don't even have to have criminal charges brought against you. It doesn't matter. If they label you this way, then this is what happens. So another piece of this, in addition to the vague term extremism, you have the Chinese Communist Party also submitted proposals to criminalize sharing information that results in social disorder. So that's also part of this UN draft. So China's like, hey, can we add in a little extra phrases over here? The effort began back in 2019 when the United Nations General Assembly adopted a resolution calling for the formulation of a convention on countering the use of information and communications technologies for criminal purposes. Currently, an ad hoc committee is working on details of this, including member states, jurisdictions, focus areas for the convention, which will be formalized in September. So right now, these UN conventions sort of broadly address information and communications technologies. The new version, though, will be much more specific, and they will put it in the context of criminal purposes. That's the context. Criminal purposes. Quoting now. Criminal purposes. So what exactly constitute criminal purposes, Natalie Winters writes? It's totally vague. It's totally vague. And from the available information about the convention, the term appears to include individuals who spread misinformation. Again, what is misinformation? What the government is actively spreading? Like, is there any criminal charges and for the criminal truth? So the most recent draft of the convention explains how the UN is working with countries to promote, facilitate, and strengthen international cooperation. So there's an example here we'll put up on the screen. At face value, the forms of speech the UN is trying to curtail may seem justified, but the broad scope of what constitutes subversive posts or the promotion of political or ideological hatred could easily be used to target content critical of the far-left globalist agenda of groups like the UN or the World Economic Forum. So, for example...
There you go. There you go. Now that is it. That is it. We're coming against the agenda. Okay? They're trying to create a new world order in their image. They're trying to come forth with a digital technology that's going to enslave the people, and we're in the way. We're going to cause people to resist. So therefore, because their eyes are open to the truth, our people, okay? But a lot of us, they're not receiving it, but the elect will.
The forms of speech the UN is trying to curtail may seem justified, but the broad scope of what constitutes subversive posts or the promotion of political or ideological hatred could easily be used to target content critical of the far-left globalist agenda of groups like the UN or the World Economic Forum. So, for example, on your screen, Article 29 of the draft document focuses on terrorism-related offenses, calling on countries to criminalize commissioning, inciting, or recruiting terrorism, which it defines as spreading of strife, sedition, hatred, or racism. So you could be accused of terrorism if you spread strife. Like if you speak out against the World Economic Forum for being a globalist cabal. Or
So basically,
or shining a light on their
it's-
agenda, right? I mean, would that be considered strife, Philip? Like if I, or sedition?
Well, yeah,
like
that's what I was getting at. Because if my words cause strife, that means what they're saying is it's illegal for me to piss people off.
Right.
Like if I make somebody else angry, I don't have to be angry myself. But if my words make somebody else angry, I have just like created strife.
Right.
So it would be like so my livelihood could very well depend on how somebody else interprets what I said.
Right.
Revelation 2 and 10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil, in which is not a man in a red spandex suit, is the so-called white man, the Edomites, shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. Ecclesiastes 3 and 15 tells us that the Lord requireth to pass, so we know this is going to happen again. All right, and it's unfolding before our eyes. Ecclesiastes 3 and 15. That which has been is now, and that which is to be has already been, and the Most High required that which is past. So we know it's going to happen again. They're going to persecute the men of the Lord, the prophets, the teachers that are on the highways and hedges, okay, telling and exposing Esau, Edom, and being the mouthpiece of the Lord. We go to Second Thessalonians. It tells us that we would be doing just that. Okay. All right, in verse 8, 2 Thessalonians 2 and 8, we'll be on the highways revealing the wicked. All right. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 8, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. The Lord speaks through the men of the Lord. Okay, he speaks through men, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming, even him, and that's the devil, okay, whose coming is after the working of Satan, which Esau, Edom, with all power and signs and lying wonders. So the Lord uses us as his mouthpiece. Okay. All right. And we know that it's at Hosea 12 and 10. I have also spoken by the prophets. So he speaks through the men that he raises up in the spirit. Okay. And I have multiplied visions and used similitudes by the ministry of the prophets. So he speaks through the men, through the men that he raises up as prophets. Okay, that be starting with the men of Great Millstone on down. All right. So we'll go back to Revelation 2 and 10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. Matthew 19 and 27. Then answered Peter and said unto him, Behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have, therefore? And Yahushua said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, which that's the reincarnation, regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, so this is all about the 12 tribes of Israel, and they are regenerated spirits back on the earth. Okay, and the men of the Lord are out preaching this word on the highways and the hedges. All right, and with that I say all praises to Yahweh, all praises to Yahweh Shai, peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, and shalom to the believers, and double honors to the elders at Great Millstone. Shalom.